Nestling within the London streets that so inspired Charles Dickens is 48 Doughty Street.
This Georgian house is the only one of Dickens's homes that can still be visited by the public. You can almost feel the presence of Britain's greatest novelist.
When Charles Dickens moved here in 1837, he was just 25 years old and an up-and-coming author. Every day, from 8 in the morning to noon, he'd settle in this room, his study, to write. And that's his famous writing desk. In the 3 fruitful years that he lived here, he completed the Pickwick Papers and wrote 2 more novels, Oliver Twist and Nicholas Nickleby. At that writing desk, he imagined the fateful meeting of Pip and Magwitch in Great Expectations. He created the London Society of Our Mutual Friend, and he began his final, unfinished novel, The Mystery of Edwin Drood. The Charles Dickens Museum tells the story of the private man just as much as his public face. His life changed dramatically in the time he spent here. His wife, Catherine, gave birth to 2 baby girls, and tragically, in this room here, Catherine's 17-year-old sister, Mary Hogarth, passed away, a loss that would affect Dickens and influence his writing for many years to come.
Dickens was deeply passionate about social justice. As a boy, of course, he'd known all about this because of his father having been incarcerated in the Marshalsea prison. And that's why it's so interesting to come here to the nursery in Dickens's own house. He himself, as a young kid, wandering around the streets, poverty-stricken, could so easily, as he said, have turned into a little criminal. And this here is the drawing room, which was absolutely the centre, the hub of the whole household. People came here to drink, to eat, to laugh, to dance, and Dickens loved all of those things. And frequently he'd come into the room, and if they were lucky, he'd read what he'd just been writing. So they were the very first people ever to hear Dickens reading. That may have been the source of his later public readings from the novels, in which he electrified Victorian England. The copies from which he read are to be found here in the museum.
The Charles Dickens Museum holds events and special activities all year round for all ages. There's an exciting programme of family fun days, Dickensian readings, entertaining performances and temporary exhibitions.
There's a cafe here in the museum. It's a really wonderful place to gather your thoughts together in the middle of London. And then you can make your way through to the gift shop, which is full of all sorts of trinkets and delights Dickensian, but also the very latest books which have been written about him.
To book tickets or to find out more about the Charles Dickens Museum, just visit
dickensmuseum.com.